How we doing on this last night of July? Getting ready to go headlong into August, and it seems like summer's just gotten away from us, doesn't it? It comes and goes so quickly these days. Oh, probably especially if you're getting ready to have to go back to school. Oh, yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Glad those days are long behind me because I didn't like school all that much, I'll be honest. Okay, so tonight we have got a couple of things on tap. We're going to do a full case of Cornerstones basketball and then a half case of Allen and Ginter. So Cornerstones, it sounds like that's a lot, right, when you talk about a full case, but it really won't take us a tremendous amount of time to do it because there's not a lot of cards in each box. Probably we will have some redemptions, and that'll take a little time, though. So if you're here for Allen and Ginter, I'm going to say that you probably have got, I don't know, maybe half hour, something like that. But don't take off quite yet because we do have some info to go over. So if you're here for Allen and Ginter, at least stay and check out the info part here. Then you can wander off for a bit and come back if you want, if you don't feel like watching the basketball with us. So the first note that you see there, of course, is just about my feedback, and that's to let you know that I have it completely automated on eBay. And I did that a few years ago just because I found myself not being able to keep up. And I really didn't want you guys to have to wait to get positive feedback. So once I automated it, as soon as you leave positive feedback for me, you should instantly get it in return. So you shouldn't have to have any waiting involved on that one. And then, of course, the second thing that you see there is just thank you, right? Because everybody needs to say thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad that you're here. I like that you bid and break and chat with me and come watch the breaks. So thanks for joining me this evening. We are looking right now at a list of the breaks that are coming up on eBay. They're already up and available for bidding. They're going to be ending over the course of the next 5 days. Tomorrow night is going to be insanely busy. It's going to be so much fun. We've got 4 new products coming out tomorrow. We're going to bust into all 4 of them. So we'll start off with a full case of Elements Football. That's a brand new product out from Panini, and it looks to be pretty awesome, so I'm excited about that. Then we're going to break a case of Noir Basketball, which is a very high-end product, a couple $1,000 a case. And they just announced, guess what? Charles Barkley is back in the fold. So apparently he's going to have autograph cards in Noir for the first time in who knows how long. Then we have Immaculate Baseball. So Immaculate, you are familiar with it, I'm sure. There are always awesome relics in it and unique relics like pieces of cleats and gloves and helmets and things we don't always get. So Immaculate will be fun. And then we'll break into a half case of Chrome Baseball. That is all tomorrow night on Wednesday. All that comes out tomorrow. We're going to bust it all tomorrow. Thursday, we'll open an autographed New Era baseball cap and a case of Certified Football. On Friday, we'll open another case of Elements Football and the back half of that case of Chrome Baseball. On Saturday, we're going to open a full-size autographed football helmet, another half case of our Leaf autographed football jerseys. We've had a lot of fun breaking those by the half case, so we're going to keep doing it for a little bit, and we'll do it again Saturday night. We will open a third case of Elements on Saturday night, as well as a Gold Rush autographed baseball jersey, a second case of the Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. This is the National Edition, right? So it's a different checklist than we had from all the Onyx Preferred Players we opened a few months ago. And the checklist is there as part of the listing if you have any questions about it. Then also a second case of Immaculate Baseball on Saturday night. On Sunday, note we're going to start a little bit earlier. We're going to start at 9:45 instead of 10. And we will open a Hit Parade Series 5 autographed batting helmet, a half case of Gold Standard Football, which will be the start of a new case. And then we'll open a full case of Topps Chrome Baseball that night. No half case there. That'll be a full case. So that's what the days ahead look like tonight. Once again, we are looking at Cornerstones up first. Allen and Ginter Baseball coming right behind that. Allen and Ginter, we don't have to worry about consolation cards because, you know what, there's a zillion cards in there. Every team's going to pull some. In Cornerstones, it is possible that your team could get blanked in that break. I hope not, but it is possible. And if that happens, your consolation cards will be sent out with the rest of the break. That's because it's a paid shipping break. There would be, no need for you to wait. And if you're doing any other consolation cards, by the way, they would go out at the same time, because I do track that for a rolling 90-day period. And I always check it before I ship something out to make sure I've got everything. Oh, and you know what? Shipping date. I forgot to talk about that. So I'm projecting Saturday to ship Cornerstones and the Allen & Genter that we open tonight. If I can get it out to you faster than that, I will. But for right now, projecting it for Saturday. And this is going to get us started tonight with Cornerstones basketball, 12 boxes, 2017-18 Cornerstones makes a full case. It's break number 3. This is the last of the Cornerstones that I have on hand. And of course, everything we're opening tonight ended tonight, Tuesday, the 31st of July. Sadly, the last day of the month, going into August, which always starts feeling like fall to me. It's not, but it feels like it's headed that way when we get to August. Team names, of course, are on the left. Winning bidders are across from it there on the right-hand side. And if you are not in this particular break, you're going to have a chance to see your name up there across from your team when we get to your break. So that one, of course, that we just looked at is for Cornerstones. Last but not least, I am taking manual focus away, or autofocus off, because it drives me nuts, and setting the focus manually. I do realize that that's going to throw the background out of focus a little bit, but not to worry. We're going to be able to see all of our cards with no problems. Mario, you're any random what? You've typed in any randoms tonight, but I'm not sure exactly what you're asking me about there. So if you can give me a little more details there, Mario, I will try to answer your question for you, because I'm not quite sure what you are inquiring about at the moment. My Reds got beat tonight, and Homer Bailey pitched a good game today. And it's really a shame that we couldn't give him any offense. And we got beat by the Tigers, which are, what, like 1,000 games out of the below 100? I mean, they're not that bad. They're not 1,000 games below 100 because they don't play 1,000 games. But, I mean, I bet you they're probably 12, 15 games below 500 anyway. Go in there and get beat by the Tigers of all things. Especially when Homer Bailey pitches such a nice game, you know the guy's got to be ticked. Because really, I mean, he gave up that homer early on, and then nothing else up until, gosh, what was it, like the 8th inning maybe? And then that single went back in the corner and scored somebody and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I was sad about it. Sad that my Reds lost. So as you can see here for Cornerstones, we are 1 pack per box. Pardon me. And, sorry, our 1 pack per box means our 12 box case is really 12 packs of cards. But each one of our boxes is going to yield 2 autographs and 1 memorabilia card. That, again, is on average. You know how Panini is with their on average. So that means that some of our hits could be replaced with a rewards point card or something crazy could happen, but generally speaking, that's what we're expecting to find. Hi, Gina. What's up? Yo, back to you. And hey, Mario, did you leave, Mario? I still don't know. I didn't understand what your question was when you said any randoms tonight. If you can type in more info, I'll be happy to try and answer that for you. I'm just not sure exactly what the question was or is. You know what? I haven't been getting much sleep lately, guys, so sometimes my brain doesn't work really well. Your question is probably something really obvious that I'm just not mentally processing. I don't know. Gina, are you in tonight? I can't remember if I saw you on the spreadsheet or not. I was multitasking. I was working on getting some different stuff done, and I needed to help somebody out with a Facebook thing, so I was kind of trying to do that while doing everything else, and as a result, I did not do a good job retaining who has what, but of course, I don't have to remember it, right? That's why it's on the spreadsheet, and why eBay keeps track of all that for me with my handy little invoices. Eric is here. Hey, Eric. Oh, that's right. I forgot you were going to the National, Gina. I forgot. What day are you heading up? You going to go early and be there for the whole thing and get there tomorrow, or are you going to wait and go Friday, or what's your plan? What's your game plan? So that we can all pretend like we're going. We're just going to live vicariously through you and act like we're going to. Oh, you tried to get the Celtics tonight and they went, you say, too rich for your blood. I didn't actually notice what they went for tonight. I didn't pay attention to any of the finishing prices tonight because I was in a bit of a hurry trying to get everything done, as I often am after the end of the auctions and the start of the break. So a startups insert with John Collins and the Hawks. And then we have a numbered Karl Anthony Towns for the T-Wolves. That was to 165. Here's Blake Griffin. He's numbered to 49 for the Pistons. And Frank Mason III, first hit out for the Sacramento Kings. Getting things started tonight. Oh, you're leaving tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, it's a 10-hour drive. You've got more intestinal fortitude than I. It would be about a 6 or 7 hour drive for me, and I decided I didn't want to drive that far. I know, right? The older I get, the more I absolutely hate driving more than about 3 hours. Gerald Henderson and the Celtics. And should that be numbered? Oh gosh, it's over on the side. I'm so blind. It's to 150. Yeah, when I was younger, I mean, we drove to South Carolina to go to Myrtle Beach for the day one time, and it was like 10 hours each direction. So we drove 20 hours to be down there about 12. I mean, I used to do crazy stuff like that. Now I don't like driving very much. Ricky Rubio and the Jazz, that is numbered to 49, our Cornerstones on-card autograph. Kristaps Porzingis, here is our case hit from downtown for the Knicks with a little Kristaps action. And then we have numbered to 100 and whatever the weird number is on this. What are they? 165, Dwight Howard and the Hornets. And then numbered to 89 is Valanciunas and the Raptors. For the Knicks, I have Michael Beasley on a fractured insert memorabilia. The dreaded redemption comes up behind it. So there's our redemption. You know the drill. I'm going to leave it face down until the very end. Hold you in suspense. But me too. I haven't looked at it either. Tyler Lydon and the Nuggets to 25. That is a nice looking Cornerstones card. 3 of your 4 relics are 2 color. Of course, on card autograph. Low number. Little rookie Cornerstone action coming out there for Tyler Lydon and the Nuggets. Zach Randolph, Unbreakables for the Kings. Eric, you must have the Nuggets tonight because he says sweet. So I'm guessing you got the Nuggets in this break, huh? And there is Shumpert for the Kings, once again numbered to 165. Then we have Saric for the 76ers, and that's numbered to 89. Sterling Brown for the Bucks, relic. That's going to be followed by another hit for the Bucks. Franchise Foundations, it is Junior Bridgman. And Junior is numbered to 159. And the Bucks, well, you know what? We weren't quite done with you. This whole box basically is you. All 3 hits were the Bucks. The Bridgman, the first Sterling Brown, and another Sterling Brown this time as a Cornerstone. And guess what? Numbered to 10. And a couple of very nice patches there at the bottom. So that whole box was basically the Bucks. Except for the base cards, I guess, weren't. But all the hits were. So if you're Milwaukee, you're officially happy. Unbreakables with Chris Webber and the Kings. And here's Pascal to 160. I keep forgetting this. 165 because it's such a weird number for the Raptors. Then we have numbered to 49 Brook Lopez for the Lakers. The Jazz have a hit with Karl Malone. Nice little Karl Malone relic. Eric says it's his lucky night. Yeah, indeed. Norman Powell for the Raptors. That is numbered to 159. Ooh, here comes one that's going to make somebody happy. If you've got the Sacramento Kings, yeah, you have a nice De'Aaron Fox Cornerstones headed your way, numbered to 199 with your quad relics and on-card autograph. Terrence Ferguson and the Oklahoma City Thunder startups insert. LeBron James is up next to 165 for the Cavaliers. And then we have Mirotic numbered to 49 for NOLA. Terrence Ferguson and the Oklahoma City Thunder relic. Franchise Foundations is coming up with Stoudemire. Yeah, that's nice. Damon Stoudemire. Numbered to 159 for the Portland Trailblazers. So those of you who are in this break tonight for Cornerstones, if you're not familiar with Noir, check it out. We're going to break it tomorrow night, and it is it's high end. It's a couple $1,000s a case. It's the black and white cards. They are really pretty awesome. And I just found out today Charles Barkley's in there, I guess with autographs apparently. So for the first time in a long time, Charles Barkley autographs in Panini stuff. Steven Jackson and the Warriors to 129. Cornerstones on-card autograph. And then I don't remember what next comes out after Noir. I don't think we have any basketball next week. New, I mean. We don't have a whole lot of new stuff coming out next week, period, because there's so much coming out this week. John Collins and the Hawks, startups. Jeremy Grant to 165, OKC. And then we have J.J. Barea to 89 for the Mavericks. Luke Kennard and the Pistons, relic. Did I know that jackrabbits fight by standing on their back legs and fighting like a boxer? I really didn't, and I'm a little bit afraid to ask why you bring that up, Gina. I'm a little scared about why you're asking me that, but no, I did not know that. This is Gershon to 10 for the Celtics, so there is a nice low number hit. I'm sure you would have rather it been Jason Tatum, but at least we've got you on the board there, Celtics, with a nice low number autograph hit to 10. And here's Ike for the Pacers, and Cornerstones numbered to 49. A couple of nice relics down there at the bottom. Oh, it's just a random fact you heard today. Okay, I was like, oh no, like, is there something happening that I don't know about? Are we being overtaken? I don't know which team he signed for. I haven't pulled it up on the checklist yet. Somebody one of my reps actually called me late today, and I was busting a move to try to get to the post office before it closed, so I didn't have time to really chat with him and get all the details. But he's the one that told me. He said, oh, they just announced it today. Charles Barkley's in Noir. He signed for Noir, and etc. Dennis Rodman insert Unbreakables for the Bulls. Ben Simmons, 165 for the 76ers. And then for the Heat, we have Josh Richardson, 289. Here's the big man, Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat. The downtown case hits are not numbered. They're just case hits, but they're not numbered. Franchise Foundation, Cedric, I've never known how to say his name right, Ceballos for the Suns to 159. Meanwhile, Gina's chuckling, going, you don't know how to say any of the names right. And Gina would be correct about that. John Collins and the Hawks, that is numbered to 25. That's another very nice Cornerstones hit for our rookie John Collins. Oh, Pete Maravich, Pistol Pete Maravich is one of your dream hits, and Charles Barkley is the other. You know what? That checklist ought to be up already on the Panini website. So I'm guessing somebody has probably broken it down by now. You might try groupbreakchecklist.com or Break Ninja and see if either one of them have broken out the hits by team yet. And if they have, we should be able to find it in there without having to, pour over everything on the Panini website. Anunoby and the Raptors is a startups insert. Indy Shark, Allen and Ginter is next for sure. Charlotte Hornets to 165 is MKG. And Aaron's in the house. Hey, Aaron. And Gina says, at least I got the John Collins name correctly. Pronounced correctly. This is number 249. It's LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here comes another De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings. This one is a relic. Of course, you hit your nice cornerstones a couple of boxes back. So Kings in good shape. And if you're the Bucks, well, you have about a truckload of Sterling Brown. And now you have a truckload plus one. Because here's another one. This one is to 159. And apparently whoever handled the randomizing for this box did not really pay attention that day, and they just said, hey, let's put all Sterling Browns in one box, in one case. A second redemption just came out, so you see it up there with its brother. It's hanging out, waiting to be flipped. Startups, Jordan Bell and the Warriors. 2/165, Rajon Rondo, Pelicans. And then we have Tyler Johnson to 49 for the Miami Heat. Pistons are on board with Andre Drummond, fractured memorabilia. Franchise Foundations, it's somebody I have never heard of. Y'all ever heard of this guy? Mobley, Catino Mobley for the Rockets to 75. So I don't know. I guess I must have been absent that decade. And I will admit, now there was a period of time where I just got burned out and I didn't watch a lot of basketball, but I don't remember that guy at all. So he's a franchise foundation, but I don't even know him. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad hit. Sorry, guys. I don't remember him. Eric Gordon for the Rockets to 129. He was a good shooting guard, you said. And he played with Steve Francis. I don't know why I don't remember that guy. I just don't remember him at all. Like, not the name, not the face, not anything about him. So I don't know. I was absent that decade or something. Unbreakables for NOLA. Boogie Cousins was on that insert. To 165, it's Steph Curry. Numbered to a nice low 25 is Chris Dunn and the Bulls. Frank Jackson for NOLA. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. That's numbered to 10. And we don't have too many of our relics that are just relics that are numbered that low. So that's actually pretty cool. Especially because we don't really know what we've got yet with Frank Jackson. I mean, he sat out his whole rookie year with that foot injury. So, don't know. He could be a superstar. We'll find out. Pillars of Power. Here's Ike to 75 for the Pacers. A third redemption. Boo. Boo, redemptions. We don't like you. A lefty shooting guard. Just why can't I remember him? I don't know. Maybe I had... I don't know why I don't remember him, but I definitely don't. So, Steve Francis I remember, but I just don't remember that guy. Jordan Bell, Golden State Warriors, for our insert. To 165, it's Nurkic, whatever. Joseph. This is numbered to 89. It's the Sacramento Kings and Buddy Hield. Miles Turner and the Pacers. Relic. Well, good grief. Okay, so if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, I hope you have some extra space in your display cabinet because you're just racking up tonight. Here's Malcolm Brogdon to 159, and that's what, the 4th or 5th or 6th hit for the Bucks? It's a lot of hits for the Bucks, which means some other team is going to be sad because all the hits are going to the Bucks, which means some other team's going to be like, hey, wait, where are my cards? There was a 4th redemption. Eric, do you have the Bucks tonight too? Because you are just rolling if you do. Startups Kyle Kuzma, that just about went in the wrong sleeve. Not that it would have particularly mattered, other than it just would have been like an ill-fitting suit. Then we have the 165 Jordan Clarkson and the Cavs. And then there's Ilyasova, numbered to 89 for the 76ers. Celtics, Robert Parrish relic. Oh, you've got the Bucks and the Pacers too? Well, I may as well just ship the whole case right to you, Eric, because you probably got about, what, a third of it or something? Maybe more with the teams you have. So, yeah, we're just going to may as well just box it all up and send it right to you, Eric. Jermaine O'Neal, speaking of the Pacers, numbered to 99, franchise foundations. And here is Aaron Gordon for the Magic. Poor little Magic, been just hanging out waiting. Numbered to 75 cornerstones with 3 of your 4 relics are 2 colors, so that's nice. Before we recap, you know what? We've got 4 redemptions, which is just silly. We shouldn't have that many redemptions in there, but basketball's been that way kind of all year, hasn't it? They've been making us wait and wait and wait. And, oh, Gina, you were on here the other night, right? When I was talking about if you have redemptions and you can do them at the Panini booth and all that. So if you want to trade out your stuff, make sure you print out a list of what you have pending. Has to have been pending for 4 months or longer. And take the list with you to the Panini Pavilion, and you can do all that trade out. So you looked on here and said Barkley has his own 10-card set, each numbered to 15. 4. Okay, so you've got 4 for the Sixers, 3 for the Suns, and 3 for the Rockets. Are you talking about in Noir, right? So any of those are autograph possibilities, you're saying? Any of those particular one? Sherry, we did not pull any Giannis unless he's on one of these. He could be here or somewhere. Semi Ojeleye for the Celtics, and that is a Pillars of Power autograph. Of course, you guys know how I am. I'm going to take us to the Panini website, and we'll verify the teams on all of these. We'll also find out what each of these are numbered to when we get there. Oh, there it is, Celtics. There is Jason Tatum, baby. Rookie Cornerstones Granite. So now, all of a sudden, the pendulum swings, and now the Celtics are like, okay, now they're happy, right? They were feeling kind of like, before this. Now they're happy. Now they're really happy. And then we have Jordan Bell, rookie cornerstones, coming out for the Warriors. And he's probably going to be numbered maybe to 299 or something like that. But again, we'll find out when we get to the checklist. And finally, it is Rudy Gobert for Cornerstones Crystal. Did they trade Rudy Gobert? Is he still with the Jazz? I can't remember. I better not write it on there yet, in case he's not on the checklist as a Jazz. I don't know. Oh, you don't do any of the redemptions? Oh, man. Well, that is, you should, though. You should do some of them because, you know what? They're fun, sort of. I mean, they're fun when you get them. They're not fun while you're waiting 750 years to get them. But once you get them, they're fun. And I would like to say that they're always in perfect shape when you get them, but in fact, they are not. Some of them also come kind of beat up, which is what leads me to believe that a lot of times these cards that have kind of wonky edges and corners, I think it mostly happens when they're being signed. That's my opinion on it anyway. Because you would think getting them directly, never been in a pack, never been in a box, that it would come to you just perfect, but sometimes they do, a lot of times they don't. Rookie Cornerstones. Where are you, Rookie Cornerstones? Jordan Bell and the Warriors. This is card number 170. Jordan is going to be numbered to 199. And of course, you know that we will recap all of this too when I get done with this part. Now we need to go to Pillars of Power. which I just went right past. Does it say? Yeah, just that. Card number 5, Semi Ojeleye, will be numbered to 159. Because I guess he got tired and he didn't feel like signing 199, so he stopped 40 short. Rookie Cornerstones Granite up next. Rookie Cornerstones Granite. Card number 153, Jason Tatum. Oh, that's even better than I thought. Okay, like I thought it might be to 49. Oh, no, that's to 25. So Jason Tatum to 25, Cornerstones Celtics. Oh, somebody is really happy along about now. Cornerstones Crystal is next up. And why can't I find it? Because I am going in the wrong direction. That's why. It would be helpful if I would scroll in the right direction. Rudy Gobert is still the Jazz. He is to 75. I thought he was the Jazz, and then I freaked out and thought, oh no, he got traded, and then I got my brain all confused and decided I better not write until I looked it up. Okay, so Eric says the Noir Suns price is jacked way up because of Barkley. Yes, well, I'm not entirely surprised about that. But, you know, he hasn't been in a product in a while, so it's good. It's good to have him in there. So we have Jordan Bell and the Warriors to 199. For the Jazz, Rudy Gobert to 75. For the Celtics to 25, the Jason Tatum rookie cornerstones. That is going to be a nice hit for somebody. And then the Celtics also have Semi Ojeleye, which will be to 159. Then to recap the rest of this, here we go. I'm not going to read all this off again. You guys saw it going through the first time. We're not going to look at the backs again either. It's just kind of informational here. For anybody who missed it earlier, or maybe you're watching I always want to say the tape delayed version, but it's obviously not tape delayed. It's just recorded and uploaded later. So the DVR version, the replay, however you want to phrase it. If you're watching that and you've scrolled to the end, then you get to see the recap without having to watch all the other stuff. Although, why wouldn't you want to watch all the other stuff? We have fun. But it's probably more fun if you can jump into chat and participate, right? Reggie Lewis is in Noir with a 1 of 1 tag. Nice. I did not know that either. And Alonzo Mourning has hits in there too. Okay. Well, we've got a lot of... Noir is always a really cool product. And frankly, I would love to open a ton of Noir, but I have a difficult time on that one because it is another one of those very expensive cases, and so it's often hard, especially by the time you factor in the eBay and PayPal fees. It's often hard to even break even on those, and I'm fine with breaking even. I don't have to make money on it. I'm fine if I break even on it because I enjoy opening it, but I don't always break even on it. So I don't have very much Noir coming in, but, you know, if it does surprisingly well or something, I can easily run down some more. So we'll see how it shakes out. Anyway, let me get our spreadsheet set up here, and we're getting ready to bust into Allen and Ginter. It wasn't far off either, was I? I said it would take about a half hour to do Cornerstones. So hey, not too far off on my estimation tonight. So we're getting ready to head into Allen and Ginter, and once again, your projected shipping date for that and Cornerstones, which we just finished up, both projecting to ship out on Saturday. If I can get it out to you quicker than that, of course I will. But I have been pretty much on the money with most of the projections lately. I haven't been able to work ahead very much because I've been opening so much stuff with a lot of base cards. And if something weird happens and I get off schedule somehow, that could slide to a day later. All right, just always be aware of that. It can always be a little early. It can always be a day late. I'm hopeful that it's going to be Saturday, so there you go. That's what we're looking at. And, of course, consolation cards don't come into play in Allen and Ginter because every team's going to pull something. So we are 6 boxes of 2018 Topps Allen and Ginter baseball. It's a half case break, and it is break number 5. It also ended tonight, Tuesday night, the 31st of July. And, of course, we're live streaming the night it ended. And team names are on the left, and your name in lights across from it if you're the winning bidder on the right-hand side. We had one category that didn't sell. That's down here, which is, I need to scoot that over, which is beaches, moons, nature, and weather. So that's why that's designated as no bids buyback. Our other categories down here, I expanded the description. You guys probably noticed that if you read through it, to give more specific examples as to which of each of those categories includes. But basically, non-baseball celebrity, that's all of your athletes from other sports, you know, sports writers, comedians, actors, actresses, all that type stuff. A celebrity that is not a baseball player is going to go to that particular category. Then beaches, moons, nature, and weather go to a category. Obviously didn't sell. We're not too worried about that. Then equipment, which, why do I keep spelling that wrong? Because I keep copying and pasting the same stupid thing every time I guess. But it is baseball equipment, stadiums, and baseball superstitions are all together in a category. And then our last category is non-baseball, non-celebrity minis that don't fall into one of those other categories. So it's like indigenous heroes and hot peppers and flags of the world and postage stamps and etc. So that's what all those extra little categories are down there. And then of course everything else is our teams and whatnot, just as normal. So Gina says that Noir has a dual logo man, Tatum and Ball, and a Tatum with Fultz. Yeah, that is, I mean, I'm telling you guys, that's why I said, if you're not familiar with Noir, you had to look it up because and by the way, the cards are spectacularly awesome. Now, some people don't like them because they are largely black and white, but I love them. I love the card design. And there's really nice hits in there. You just, check it out. It's not something that you see all the time, and not everybody breaks it. So it's not always one that you might have run across on a regular basis. But there's always Noir cards listed somewhere on eBay. I have some for Willie Cauley-Stein and when he was a rookie, and what else did I get? I got a bunch of those a few years ago. I got lucky and to get into some breaks and things and did pretty well with them. So, and they're like my favorites of all my basketball cards. I tend to prefer my Noir cards to any others because I just love the card design. Okay, so here's the deal with this, guys. You see that I'm taking out all of the boxes. That's because this is a start of a brand new case. So whenever we're starting a new case, but we're not going to finish the case in one sitting, as will be what we're doing tonight, I'm going to number the boxes on the end. And then I'll go to random.org and I'll bring you along with me. And I will simply type in 1 through 12. I'll hit random a single time. And whichever 6 numbers come up first, after we hit randomize, we'll open those corresponding 6 boxes tonight. I know some of you are in chat asking me a question as well. I see it over there. But let me get us through this part first, and then I will address the outstanding questions that are in chat. Okay, there's our 1 through 12, and here we go. It is giving us 3, 7, 4, 9, 10, and 5. So 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. Okay, 3, 4, and 5, 7, and 9, and 10. Let me get our other boxes put back in the case here, and then I will get us rolling. Give me just a second here to get that accomplished. I should have turned down the air conditioning in here tonight too. I don't know what my deal is. I think I think I must have been cold in the middle of the night or something, and then I never forgot to, or I forgot to adjust it. I never put it back down, and I feel like I'm on the face of the sun right now. Of course, I'm also sitting under all these stupid overhead lights, and they're very hot. Okay, so Sheldon, you are asking me if beaches and moons and weather have relics. No, they do have some box toppers that would fall under the nature part with the natural wonders and stuff, but I don't think that they have relics specifically that I remember anyway. You could look, if you pull up the listing description for it, I did expand it considerably, starting with, it was either starting with this break or the one right before it, where I do go in and kind of list and say, hey, this category includes this. And you could find out for sure in there, because I went through the checklist and tried to dissect it and make sure I had everything assigned to a category and described properly. But I don't remember there being any in there. It's not to say that there aren't, but I don't remember them. There are relics in some of the other stuff, but not in that I recall. Cal Ripken Jr. box loader for the Orioles. That's our box topper out of box number 1. They can be that size or that other little kind of strange size. That was very descriptive, wasn't it? A little strange side. And Sheldon, you know that spot, yes, was for sale on eBay. For sure it was, but no one bought into it, so that's why it was just listed there as no bids buyback, because it's just an orphan. No one bid on it, so it got stuck there. And Benrud, you said you don't do baseball, but you're hoping for a Rip card or some Brewers. All right, we'll see if we can't make that happen for you. Oh, you know what? Greg told me in a message tonight. I don't know if Greg's on here. He must not be, because he hasn't said anything, so he must not be on tonight. But he sent me a message earlier and said that, you know how we were kind of speculating that the Ohtani red ink might be inside of a Rip card, and apparently it is, because someone, Greg said someone's listed one on eBay that came out of a Rip card, one of the Ohtani red autos, So they are in there, which just then, to me, I mean, how do you not rip it if you have one knowing that? Yeah, for sure, I wouldn't be able to stand it, but you know. So yeah, we're going to try to find you some Brewers or a Rip card in here. We're going to do the best we can. Or a Rip card for your Brewers, I should say. Let's rephrase that, because it's Milwaukee that you're working your mojo for, right? Okay, so. And Gina, yes, Noir is, as you say, crazy cool. I adore those cards. I think out of all the basketball cards, if you said I had to pick only one design and every card would look like that, I would choose Noir. I would choose it over National Treasures, over any of them. And I like National Treasures, of course, everyone does. But just purely from a design and aesthetic standpoint, Noir is my favorite. So. And you said, oh, hey, Bobby, I didn't even see you in there. You said, hi to you, Bobby. And Eric is quite right. Noir holds its value very well. I was talking about that a little bit the other night, too. It's one of them kind of like National Treasures and Spectra, and one of them that, one of the brands, I should say, that tends to have a very solid resale value. Again, probably because of the price of the case. I mean, those two things often go hand in hand. When you're paying a lot for the case, your card values are usually correspondingly higher. I guess the exception to that would maybe be Contenders, because Contenders is not nearly as expensive as National Treasures or Flawless or any of some of the other high-end brands. But of course, as we all know, Contenders are some of the most coveted cards you can get, so they tend to hold their value quite well also. And where the DNA relics. Sheldon, again, I would have to tell you, I mean, I can look it up for you, but it's all in those various descriptions. If we hit the DNA relic, I believe it's going to fall under the other category, which is the non-baseball, non-celebrity minis. But I can tell you, if you just hang on here for a second and let me double check, because I don't want to misspeak and tell you something that is incorrect. But give me 1 second and I'll pull up a listing and then I can tell you. Oh, crap. I just hit the wrong link. Sorry. Now eBay's going to take a minute to get me back where I need to go because I hit the wrong thing. So, sorry. I am getting there. But I'm fairly certain that that's where it is. It's in the non-baseball, non-celebrity minis, I do believe. But I'm just going to pull it up and tell you for sure. Because I did recently redo all of those categories, as I mentioned earlier, and put everything in the description. And I, in case I rearrange something, I don't want to tell you wrong. So I'm just going to go right here and tell you. Get it right from the listing. For non-baseball, non-celebrity mini inserts, here is what that category covers. DNA relics, sunken treasure relics, indigenous heroes, exotic sports, hottest peppers, postage required, folio of fears, flags of lost nations, cryptocurrency, Dennis the Rash, and any others that are not specifically covered in another listed category. It does not include beaches, moons, nature, weather, because that's in its own category. It does not include baseball equipment, baseball superstitions, or stadiums, because that is its own category. And of course, it does not include baseball players of any type from any team or any person who works for or is associated with any baseball team, like superfans, front office personnel, ushers, etc. And it does not include celebrities or other non-baseball sports figures. So that is kind of how that category shakes out. So I think, if we come up with a DNA relic or sunken treasure relic or anything like that, that is where it's going to go. And I thought it was, but I wanted to make 100% sure. Eric, Matt Harvey, did Matt Harvey get traded? I don't think he did. The last I had heard, anyway, he hadn't been traded unless, well, it could have happened late this afternoon because I really didn't look again after probably 2 o'clock or so. I didn't look again after that. I know they were negotiating for him, and it was the Braves, I want to say, that were negotiating for him, but I don't know if that went through or not. Does anybody else know if it did? Oh, Sheldon, you've ripped 3 cards. What did you find in your rip cards? Because we wanna know. Ian Kinsler, he did get traded. He is. This is a relic for him as an angel. So this guy's been traded all over the place. And did I somehow hit my camera and change the focus? Because it sure looks like I did, doesn't it? Yes, I did. How'd that happen? How weird. Like the autofocus was suddenly back on my camera after I had manually removed it a while ago. Weird. All right, well, anyway, now it's fixed. So whatever I did a second ago, I don't know. Sorry about that. I just now looked up and noticed it. I'm like, what in the world has happened to our focus? But now I see. So you haven't, Sheldon, you haven't found any signatures in your rip cards yet. This, again, guys, goes to the non-baseball, non-celebrity mini insert category. And, of course, moons, beaches and moons category and all like that. Somebody else sent me a message today that they ripped one of theirs that they got in a break. And they also did not have a signature as what, I forget the player that he said was inside his, but it wasn't signed either. And Gina, you said the Matt Harvey deal did not go through, which I guess if I'd really thought about it, I might have known that because I'm sure they would have talked about it during the game if it had gone through. This I think might be the first folio of fears that we have seen out of all the breaks we've done. So that's pretty cool. Little snake there. I'll probably have dreams about snakes tonight now. So, so thanks for that, Alan and Ginter. Give me dreams about snakes, but, you know, hey. It's all good. I do think that is our first Folio of Fears, though. It's the first one I remember, so. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I missed something on here. Looking at Immaculate Baseball checklist, Charles Johnson has a Marlins autograph. Oh. Yeah, Sheldon, if you look, you're saying you didn't know which is in which category. If you just scroll down through the description, what I read off to you earlier is right there in the description of the product. In my written listing description, all of those categories, I changed that up, not this break, I think, but break before. So it very specifically states, here's what's in there and here's what isn't in most of them. So you should be able to kind of scroll down through there and see on any of those extra categories. There's Ahmed Rosario for the Mets, a little framed mini autograph. Because I know in the past, I really don't always get that specific, because for the most part, I always felt like it was kind of self-explanatory. If it was non-baseball, non-celebrity, it was kind of going into that category, and if, you know, beaches and moons and whatnot. But at any rate, somebody had a question about it somewhere along about break 2 or 3, so I changed it up. Jason Hayward relic coming out for the Cubbies. So now it's much more descriptive in there and lists out some really very specific examples. So, and here is Bryce Harper for a little black border mini. And there's Beaches. Yeah, I know. Gina's like, there's just another reason that I hate Allen and Ginter, because you have to explain who gets what card. Poor Gina just does not like Allen and Ginter, because all the extra stuff kind of makes her a little bit crazy, which, you know, I understand. There's a Nelson Cruz black border Mariners. It is a little bit of an acquired taste, I guess. It's one of those things you kind of... Well, there are many people that love it. There are many people that hate it. There are other people who kind of just grow to love it, if you will. Over time, you get used to it and you start having kind of fun with some of the relics and stuff. But, yeah. It can be a little, whatever, a little interesting, I guess, is the right word to say it for some people. There's a baseball superstition, which, once again, remember... goes with equipment and stadiums, all in that fancy little category. And there was your hot pepper card, Gina. So I don't want you to miss the world's hottest peppers as it went by. Oh, Bobby, you said Cubs getting Hamels is going to be huge. Well, of course. I mean, Cubs made a lot, tried to make a lot of stuff happen. The Braves tried to make a lot of stuff happen. Even the Pirates were dealing on the opposite side of what we're used to seeing. Used to seeing the Pirates sell, not buy. So we had a lot of interesting transactions take place this time. And that is a little Mariano Rivera for the Yankees, so that's kind of cool. On that bullpen card goes to baseball equipment. Stadium, baseball equipment, etc. I think everybody's mostly got the idea by this point what goes to what category. If you see something go by that you have a question about, let me know and I'll give you the info on it. And, of course, our home run challenge, we're going to find one per box. This one is Shoop for the Orioles. What happens is this. You get it. You scratch off that silver. You go to the website that they list there on the card, and you enter the code in there. Once you do that, you're going to have an opportunity to choose a game where you think the player on the front will hit a home run. If the player on the front actually hits a home run in that game, you're going to win a special little card. I believe it's a Topps Now type deal. And they usually bring some decent money if you're inclined to sell it rather than keep it. And then you also would be entered into a drawing for something, to go to the Home Run Derby or the All-Star Game or something like that. Something along those lines. Sheldon, you said you ripped Cal Ripken tonight, and it's going for $75 to $125 for the mini on eBay. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, the mini rip SSPs for sure, yes, would sell well. There's an Aaron Judge. This is the box loader that, as I so eloquently call it, the weird size card. So yeah, there it is in the weird size card. And Sheldon, you got the SSP of Rivera in another one. Well, you did all right ripping yours then. And yes, the cards that are numbered over 300 in this are short prints. Sorry, guys, if I didn't mention that. Sometimes I remember to say it and sometimes I don't. But actually, I thought it started with 301. But does it start with 300? It probably does. I just had in my head 301. Oh, you said Johnny Manziel is now starting in the CFL. He got traded, you know. He couldn't win the starting job away from the guy who was with the Tiger Cats, which was his first Canadian Football League team. And he got traded, what was it, back maybe 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like that, to another team whose name I don't remember. And I guess he won the starting job over there. So, all right. Go, Johnny, go. Go get your Canadian Football League groove on. I know the guy's obviously trying to play his way back into the NFL, and who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened, but he had such terrible off-the-field issues. It just seems like it would be difficult for a team to want to give him another chance because he was very disruptive. I mean, teams will forgive a lot of things, and still take you. But I think if you become very disruptive and a big distraction, that's when they're like, no, we've kind of had enough. So I kind of feel like that's where everybody is with Johnny. I don't know that he's going to have an easy time getting a job, even if he goes and lights it up in the CFL. I just don't know that it's going to happen for him. But, I mean, he has been working very hard to rehab his image and do the right things and say the right things. So, maybe. You never know. Oh, it's the Montreal Alouettes is his new team. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting, I guess. Lucas Sims, Atlanta Braves, Black Border Mini. Lucas Sims headed to the Cincinnati Reds after the Adam Duvall trade. Which, I mean, I know he's kind of maybe not doing as well as they had originally said that he was going to do back in, 14? I think he was projected to be one of the next big things. And maybe he's not quite the next big thing, but I was kind of excited that we got him in the trade. So, kind of looking forward to having him on board. We'll see what we come up with, I guess. Aaron Judge, that's a nice home run challenge to have for the Yankees. You've obviously got a real good chance of cashing in on that one. Some of the guys who are part of the challenge maybe don't hit as many home runs. Although, you've got to wait for Aaron's wrist to heal, so you got to wait at least 3 weeks, I guess, about, before you can pick a date. Because they're weird about that too now. Like if you, let's say you choose a date and your guy sits that day because he's on the DL or they're just resting him, whatever the case may be, too bad. You don't get to pick another date. And if the game gets canceled and rescheduled or something like that, I don't think you get to pick another date then either. They're pretty hardcore about once you have a date, you have a date. So I'm kind of the mindset that you wait to go scratch that code and pick your date until you know for sure your player is healthy and the weather looks good. You know, like enter it and pick a game for the next day or something like that. So, I don't know. Sheldon, this is all cards are shipping in this. So that is the case with virtually all of my breaks. If there's ever something that deviates from that, once again, it will be in the description, right about the part where it talks about the date and time of the break, and it lists the products that are being opened. And then right below that, like for instance on the Allen & Ginter, right below all of that information is where I have all the info about like what's included in what category and that sort of thing. So if there were something, if we were in a break where not everything was shipping, it would be that same kind of scenario. So it would be basically right under the informational stuff about the date and time of the break and the product name and all that. It would say if something wasn't shipping. Otherwise, if it doesn't say anything extra there, then it is all cards shipping. So that's the way my stuff works. I have a lot of information in the description, and I know it's a lot more information than some people even necessarily want to know. But it's a lot in there to make sure everybody can find the info they need and be well informed. This is a little one of one. It's a cute little printing plate. Derek Jeter and the Yankees. I love when we pull the mini printing plates. Well, first of all, I kind of like printing plates. I know a lot of people don't. They're like, oh, they're garbage one of ones because, you know, whatever. I like them. I like any one of one, but I think printing plates are kind of cool. And I especially like the mini ones because, well, they're mini. Like, who doesn't like small little stuff? It's cool. And, by the way, it was Derek Jeter. Matt Carpenter, relic for the St. Louis Cardinals, who surprisingly traded Tommy Pham. Like, did you see that coming? I didn't really think they were going to be trading Tommy Pham, but they did, and he's gone. Gone with the wind. And there was another Moons insert that you saw go by, beaches, etc. I mean, for the most part, I think most of those are pretty self-explanatory about where they go. Here's Runed, relic card for the Rangers. We haven't found a rip card yet, have we? We might, surely to goodness, we'll find something coming up soon. Oh, here's another Folio of Fears. I'm pretty sure we haven't had any Folio of Fears in our prior breaks that I can remember, but then we've had 2 tonight, so I kind of like those. Those are kind of fun. I don't know why they particularly interest me, but they do. Another little non-baseball celebrity dude. And here is a mini black border Francisco Mejia for the Indians. Of course, he's been traded too. I'm like just looking at all these things, seeing all the guys that have been traded here in the last little bit, last week or so. Yes, Sheldon, there are 2 rip cards per case in general. I'm trying to think. I believe the first half of the break we found 1, didn't we? I believe we found 1, so I'm expecting there to be 1 other. I'm fairly certain that we didn't find... Oh, this is the beginning of the case, so we haven't found any. I was thinking of the last case. I'm like going, I know we found 1. I don't think we found 2. That was what we opened on Sunday, but that was the end of a case. This being the start of a new case. Of course we haven't found it yet. Duh. I'm flashing back to the last break, which doesn't apply since we're starting over with this one in a new case. Chris Bryant and the Cubbies. But all of our other breaks that we've done so far, we use random, of course, every time when we start out, if we're not breaking the whole case at once. And each time, up to this point, I don't know how this will turn out yet, we had 1 rip card fall in each half of the break. We haven't had any yet where none fell in a half, and we haven't had any yet, obviously, where 2 fell in a half. So we'll see how it shakes out tonight. We got a few more boxes to find out. sometimes they put in a little extra spice here and there. I mean, we have certainly found more than what is advertised in case hits in other products. So sometimes you get a little extra, a little bonus. In fact, in either the last or the next to last case of Inception that we opened, we had one silver signings case hit, but we had 2 jumbo patch cards, which are also case hits. It's supposed to be 1 per case, and we ended up with a pair. So sometimes you get lucky. Yeah, the hot box too, of course. The hot box is a little bit weird this year, guys, to be blunt. Last year, of course, it was a rainbow hollow foil, and this year it is just a glossy finish, and that's it. So it's not really, I mean, the hot box this year doesn't really particularly thrill me, in other words. But if you're not familiar with how the hot box works in Allen and Ginter, all of the base cards, not necessarily the inserts, but all of the base cards in the hot box would be glossy finish as opposed to their normal finish if we come across the hot box in this half. If we don't, of course, it would show up in the next half of the break, next half of this case. Which I don't think I have scheduled yet. Because I had thought about scheduling it Sunday night, and then I decided to plug in Topps Chrome instead. So, yeah, I don't think I have it up yet. So we'll probably do the back half of this case maybe somewhere around this time next week in general. But of course, it would go up 5 days before we break it. Pretty much everything goes up 5 days ahead of time, because if you do it for any shorter time frame, eBay charges you an extra fee. I mean, how stupid is that? Like, why do they care how many days you list it? They didn't used to. They would charge you extra if you wanted it to go 10 days, if you wanted it to go longer, but they never cared if you wanted it to go less. This is Nature, Beaches, Moons, Black Border. But they changed that, I don't know, a couple years ago, I guess, 2-3 years ago. And now they charge you an extra $1 per listing for anything that runs a shorter time frame than 5 days, which, frankly, I hate. Like, who needs that? We're doing card breaks. It makes more sense for us to be able to do it in 3 days or sometimes even 1 day. George Springer is our home run challenge for the Astros, of course. But there's very little that eBay does that makes sense to me when it comes in terms of fees, and some of the changes and things they make are just bizarre. But not just in fees, just in general. Some of the changes they make I think are super weird. But anyway. Bobby B, I have been saying for what? 1.5 years, 2 years now that I'm going to get a website. I mean, I've got a domain reserved, which I've had reserved for I don't know how long, a couple years anyway, probably. And I had someone a while back, probably about 2 years ago, who was going to do a website for me, and then didn't really know how to do anything except like from a template and all that. And I'm like, I really don't want a template website. I guess I should have just said yes and put it up and worried about it later, but I didn't. And then I haven't taken the time to go hire anybody to do it. So, I mean, good grief, I don't even have the logo up. Somebody's been designing a logo that was supposed to have been done 6 months ago and still isn't done. Because every time I ask them for a change, they take 2 weeks to make a change, even if it's just a color change. So I've had a basic logo concept for ages, but I've been just trying to get it tweaked for probably longer than 6 months. I'm just, oh gosh, who cares, you know? I mean, I do care, but I just don't have the time. I need to hire somebody and do it. That's what I need to do, and I just haven't, but I should. But yeah, Bobby, you're right. I mean, the fees have gotten to be outrageous. And I mean, between eBay and PayPal combined, they take about 15% off the top. So, you know, if you lose money, if you lose money up front, in other words, something doesn't sell for what you paid for it, then you're going to compound that with another 15% of losses on their fees. There's Max Scherzer and the Nationals on a relic. And then, of course, what was it? A couple of years ago, they started taking 15% of the shipping that you charge as well. That is Ian Happ Black Border Mini. So you can't even, you know, you can't really charge. Oh, another Folio of Fears. You can't really charge the actual shipping amount, even if you wanted to, because eBay and PayPal are taking their chunk, so there's 15% or so added to it. And then eBay complains and they want you to list everything for you know, less and less and less, but they take more and more and more. So how are we supposed to list things for less and less and less if they charge more and more and more? But anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. But I do agree with you. They charge way too much, and I do agree that I need to move some things onto my own website, and I need to hire someone to build me the website and just be done with it. But I haven't. So if anybody wants to build a website, not from a template, an actual custom coded website, and you want to like do it, send me a quote, and yeah, let's build it. Build it and they will come. Or build it and maybe they won't come, but build it anyway. It would make life a lot easier, especially on certain products where you could do different kind of things. So not everything would have to be a straight player break or team break or whatever. So, oh man, I'm in the crappy sleeves again. Shoot. Justin Upton for the Angels. Hey, and it's a little piece of the bat. A little thinly shaved slice of wood in there. And behind that, Brewers, look at that. We hit for you, Benrod. Haha, we got you a little Brandon Woodruff mini framed autograph. How about that for good luck for you tonight? Nice. Christopher, I didn't see that you were on here. I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. I just now glanced over there and saw you in the comments, and somehow I did not see you in there earlier. So hi, Chris. How's it going tonight? We are officially at our halfway point. 3 boxes down, 3 to go. The other reason, Bobby, that would be good for me to have a website is because, well, really, I just need someone to do the work for it. But putting up all that stuff that I would like to sell but don't want to take the time to list on eBay, all the leftover memorabilia stuff and cards and things from where people don't pay or the spots don't sell, or stuff I hid in other people's breaks and I don't want, or it wasn't the player I was after or whatever. Mike Trout box loader for the Angels. Because see, all that could go on the website too. Which, by the way, you know, the other night we opened that mini helmet. Were you on here for that, Bobby? I want to say you were. And we pulled the nice Jason Witten for the Cowboys. Do you know the guy never paid for the spot? He had 2 spots and he hadn't paid. And I thought, okay, well, when I saw that we hit one for his team, I thought, well, surely he's going to pay now. I mean, come on, it's Jason Witten and the Cowboys. That's like a good hit. No, guy never paid for him. So I'm like, oh, well, all right, I guess I now have a Jason Witten mini helmet. Well, not quite yet. He has like another 2 days or so to pay. But for the most part, if they haven't paid by now, they're not going to pay. That's usually how that sort of stuff works. S&S Design is here. Hi, S&S Design. And Sheldon says he thinks the Red Sox usually hit well in Allen and Ginter, but not so much in this one. I haven't really noticed a bias towards the Red Sox this year in Ginter, but that's not to say it doesn't exist. I'm sure you've probably watched a whole lot more breaks than I have done. But I just don't remember seeing anything with an abundance of Red Sox anyway. Oh, you went to the Brewers game on July 4th, and it was your daughter's first game? Oh, that's cool. And I would say extremely hot is an understatement. I think that was, weren't we in that stretch of weather on July 4th where it was like 100 degrees, I think? Right about it. Maybe not in Milwaukee, but around here. Chris, the box loaders do sometimes come out with autographs. It's rather rare, but you can definitely find autographed parallels of box loaders. So it is possible, but I have not pulled any of them this year. That's for sure. I don't think I pulled any last year either that I remember out of winter. You had a guy yesterday tell you he was going to pay you 2 hours after the break. Then did he pay you or he didn't pay you and stiffed you? You never know. I mean, sometimes, in fact, July has been the worst month for non-paying bidders that I can remember in probably the last year and a half or more. I had an extraordinary amount of non-paying bidders in July, and some other breakers that I discuss things with in eBay messages and email and stuff. We compare notes on bidders who give us the shaft and whatnot. A couple of them said the same thing, that they had an unusually high number of non-paying bidders in July. So I don't know what that's kind of about, but thank goodness we're almost out of the month, so maybe that's going to flip the switch. So there is a little mini non-baseball, non-celebrity guy that went by there. Of course, Indigenous Heroes goes to the non-baseball, non-celebrity other mini category, and so on and so forth. It was 90s that day. Yeah, I would say for sure that was not probably a super pleasant baseball game sitting out in the blazing sun in the 90 degrees. Yeah, those aren't quite as much fun. Here's a poker guy, and it's a relic card from our poker champ, so that goes to non-baseball celebrity. Oh, Eric, you should see the length of my blocked eBay bidders. I'm about to run out of space in there. Got to remember, I've been on eBay for 20 years, so yeah, I've encountered all kinds of people over the course of time. So my eBay block bidder list is quite large already. But, you know, sometimes even that doesn't do it, because they just go create another account and come back and tag you again, and eBay lets them. And that's one of the things I've been complaining about for a long time, is it should block the person, not just the user ID. But they do not block just the person, they block the user ID only. So that always turns into a fun time when that happens. But, you know, that's part of what I'm saying. Some of the other breakers and I have been trading information now for several months. So if somebody stiffs one of us, you know, we tell the others, and then everybody will kind of block that person, and there you go. So then at least we're kind of forming our own little coalition, if you will, to protect each other to a certain extent. But, of course, obviously there's plenty of people that still get by, but I'm sure it has helped us avoid at least some stuff. There is Lewis Brinson for the Marlins, black border mini. A little Sloane Stevens going by there. We pulled a Sloane Stevens autograph out of here, one of these breaks. I don't remember which one it was, but one of them, maybe it's break number 2 or something. Benrud, you said you just stumbled across this stuff and you bought way too many break spots. Oh, that's how it starts, man. That's exactly how it started for me, too. That was a Nolan Arenado black border mini. Yeah, I'll tell you, I had been out of collecting for a while, and for many, really for several years, a lot of years. And of course, things changed drastically from the time I left to the time I came back. But as I was starting to come back into collecting, I was just searching for a particular card for a player who had gone to UK, which is where I graduated from, and he had turned pro, and I wanted to find some of his cards, some of his NFL rookie cards. So I got on there looking for that, and then I kind of stumbled across breaks, as you say, kind of like you did. Here is Alcantara as a Miami Marlin, correctly, as he should be. They finally have the autographs in the base, both reflecting the Marlins. So that's a nice little hit for Miami with a little framed autograph rookie hit there. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me too. I ran across breaks when I was looking for that, and I thought, this sounds interesting. I'm going to buy into one of these and see what I think. And of course, you know, the worst yet the best thing that could have happened. There is Jackie Bradley Jr. for the Red Sox Black Frame Mini. So the best thing in that I hit on that very first break, I hit an autograph something or another, I don't even remember now, which of course then turns out to also be the worst thing because you're completely hooked at that point. And then it was just from there, it just went nuts. And that first probably 6 months or something, oh my gosh, I would buy into 5-6 breaks a day often. There is Beltre for the Rangers. Yeah, I mean, my postman, I told you guys, I felt like I needed to get the chiropractor for my postman because he was having to bring me so much stuff every day. Jay Bruce and the Indians is our home run challenge card. But it is so much fun. So much fun. I absolutely love it. So, it's so easy to get hooked on. And I, like you, just kind of found it by chance, but boy, once I did, I was off to the races. Never looked back. But it's been worth it, because my card collection has grown exponentially. And it's so much more affordable than when I would buy just a box of something, and maybe I open it and I don't get any player that I wanted or the team that I wanted, and then I just have all those cards going, ugh, you know, I don't want these cards. And so for me, it made perfect sense, because I could take the money I was going to spend anyway to buy a box or boxes of something and instead reallocate it into a number of different breaks, but just for the team I wanted. So I love it for that reason. Honus Wagner is our box loader, and that is for the Pirates, of course. SNS Design says, yeah, you watch until payday because you're addicted too. I feel you, man. It's like, well, as you know, I don't take very many nights off from doing this. It's rare. I've probably missed maybe 4 or 5 nights this entire year, and 2 of them because I was sick. But for the most part, I do it almost every night, and people will ask me, you know, my friends and family and stuff, they're like, why don't you take some more nights off? I'm like, because I like it. I want to open stuff every day. And if I don't open stuff in a break, then I'm going to open stuff myself anyway, so might as well. Oh, Eric, you're asking me what other breakers I chat with. I've actually got quite a few that I go back and forth and talk to. So there's, you know, probably some I talk to more frequently than others, but there's a handful that we go back and forth with. Sheldon, you're a chiropractor? I love it. See, I should have hired you for my mailman. For sure. Cameron, you are asking, what is the best memorabilia box to buy for autographed baseball jerseys? Well, right now you don't have a lot of options out there. Gold Rush puts out baseball jerseys, but they are sold out for the year already. I have a few left here because I bought a case in fact, I bought the very last case that they had. I had already gone through a case or 2 of them, and I called him to get some more, and he goes, oh, I've got one left. You're just in time. So I snagged the one. And, of course, I'm breaking that one box at a time and maybe have 3 left or something, 3 or 4 left. And then we'll be out of Gold Rush. So then that only leaves, really, Hit Parade. And, of course, Hit Parade is year-round with their stuff. So those are kind of the only 2 options right now for the baseball jerseys. Leaf does football jerseys, but no baseball or basketball. And TriStar, once again, they do football, but they don't do basketball or baseball. So not a lot of options, but out of the 2, Gold Rush and Hit Parade, I've pulled nice things out of both of them. I tend to slightly prefer Gold Rush because it is a more limited run. There are sometimes a little bigger hits in it, I think. But absolutely, I have pulled some nice stuff out of Hit Parade too. So really, you know, it's kind of the luck of the draw no matter where you go, honestly. Oh, this is going to be good. My thing just split. My sleeve just split. Barry, oh, what is wrong with these sleeves? I want to look at the other side of this Barry Larkin. I can't get a sleeve to not split. Oh, it's just a relic. Daggone it. I was really hoping that was going to be signed. You guys know I love Barry Larkin and my Reds, but it's still a cool hit for the Reds, but I would like for that to have been signed. I was all ready for it. Oh, look, now you got a little Barry Larkin black framed mini. So it's like the universe is just putting together a little Barry Larkin set, isn't it? Right there together. And there's Adam Duvall. So pretty much now the universe is just putting together a whole little set for the Reds out of this box. Benred said you had been doing some group breaks and boxes at Grand Slam on their live break show. And he'd been slow on his group breaks. And then you found me. Yay. Well, I'm happy to have you. So welcome. I'm always happy to have whoever wants to jump in. Whether you're here to chat or just to watch or buying teams, whatever, however you come by, I'm happy to have you. So, not that I'm sorry that somebody else did something that, you know, wasn't ideal, but yet I'm glad that it led you over here. So yeah. Bobby B says, do I have another job? I feel like I have 25 jobs, to be honest with you. But I don't have another full-time job these days. I did for a while, but I don't anymore because this takes up a tremendous amount of time. But of course, by the time you do all the family stuff and all the other stuff like that, it feels like a full-time job doing just that some days. So here is a Carlos Correa rip card numbered to 75. So one of our rip cards is out, and it's headed to the Astros for Carlos Correa. We've got one box left, so we could potentially still find the other rip card. We could still potentially find our hot box, but we haven't yet anyway. Oh, right, Bobby. You are correct about that. I mean, I think until you've done it, it's really hard to imagine how incredibly much time it takes. Because, people just, rightly so, you look at it and you think, oh, it's just the time that it takes to break it, and that's not that bad. Oh, gosh, no, it's nothing like that. This is the Dodgers Cody Bellinger Home Run Challenge. Because however long it takes for you to break it, you have to assume it's going to take you at least that long to sort it. And then it will take that long again to get it prepped for shipping and get the labels printed and get it out the door. So let's say a product takes an hour to break, then it's probably going to take another hour, maybe a little over, to sort. And then it's going to take you another hour, hour and a half to get it, in its envelopes, get the labels printed, get it to the post office. And then you've taken probably a half hour to get it listed. Then you've taken another probably half hour to get your invoices out, get the spreadsheets done, and that sort of thing. So by that point, you know, you're talking 4 to 5 hours per product that you have invested. So if you break, you know, like we did tonight, we broke a couple of things tonight. Well, you're talking now that's going to be probably a day and a half's worth of work by the time it's all said and done. Just really, it takes a lot of time. And that doesn't even count the time that you spend, you know, if you've got questions you've got to answer or other things like that going on. If something takes longer than you expect to sort, then you've got to deal with all the reps to get the product ordered, get the product in, get it sorted. I mean, it's a lot of work, unless you do it as a really kind of low volume thing. I guess it wouldn't be as much, but otherwise, yeah, it's crazy. Clayton Kershaw relic for the Dodgers. Bobby, that's your first rip card. What are you going to do? Are you going to rip it or are you going to keep it? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? I'm not going to rip it no matter what you say, but I'm just curious as to what you're going to do. Oh, you're talking about sorting classics, classics football. Well, anytime you sort a collegiate product, especially one that's early in the year like that, before you've really learned who's been drafted and where they were drafted, it's a very difficult sort of sort. That's Michael Rappaport Black Border Mini. Because you have to, you know, if you don't know that stuff on the rookies, if the draft hasn't taken place yet, it's easier because then you can just do it by like first letter of last name. But once the draft's taken place, yeah, you may be talking in one product, you may have 60 or more rookies that you either have to memorize what team they go to or you have to stop and look up each one individually as you sort it. Yeah, some of those can be dicey. Take you a while. Oh, but I don't think it's the worst one. I don't think Classics is the worst one by any stretch. But yeah, it's a tough one. And there's a nice little D-backs Paul Goldschmidt in the weird size, as I call it. The weird size box loader. Sheldon, you let one of your breakers rip one for you? I had somebody offer me that. It was after the fact. He wasn't watching live, but he was watching the recorded version. And I always talk about, if it were my own rip card, obviously I would never do this to one that belongs to somebody from a break, but if it was a rip card that belonged to me that I pulled myself, there's no way I'd be able to leave it unripped. Maybe for a period of time, but not for all of eternity. So I was talking about it in the break and how I was sure it would be like a Stephen King novel and wake me up in the middle of the night calling my name, that rip card calling my name, you know. So he messaged me after he watched the break, and he goes, you can rip it. I don't care. You know, just let me know when you're going to do it and live stream it so I can see what I'm going to get. But I said, no, I wasn't going to do that. I'll let him have the fun of doing it. S&S Design wants to know my favorite product to break. Well, probably National Treasures, because you get such awesome stuff in it, and it doesn't have a ton of cards, and it's so much fun, and everybody's always excited to do it. So National Treasures as a whole is probably up there. But there's other stuff I really like. It's just, you know, like I really like Contenders, but ooh, I think that's going to be something really good. But Contenders is a lot of base cards to sort too. And really, I don't even mind doing ones that have a lot of base cards to sort. But the problem is when you have a lot of them that come out in really close proximity, it makes it really tough. Because then you're talking about probably only getting out one break a day shipping-wise. And, you know, when you're breaking 2 or 3 things a day, you need to be able to get out 2 or 3 things a day for the most part. But when it's a lot of base cards, you just can't do it. You can't get it broken fast enough. You can't get it sorted fast enough. And so even though I like a lot of the products that are base card heavy, including this one, I do always dread them a little bit more. Let's see. Bobby says, if I held on to a rip card for 15 or 20 years and Ohtani ended up being great, imagine how someone would pay for just the chance that an Ohtani could be in it. Yeah, that's true. That is true. This is going to be really something good, and I think it feels like it's going to be. So we're going to leave it. It's going to be the very last thing we're going to do. And I could be wrong, and it might not be anything cool, but it feels like it's going to be something, and if it's what I think it is, we're going to like it. Charlie Blackmon for the Rockies is our home run challenge deal. Yeah, someone told me, I was mentioning that earlier. You might not have been on here, Chris, but Greg is someone who breaks with me really often, and he messages me lots of cool stuff. Xander Bogaerts for the Red Sox black border. And I think he must not be on live tonight because he almost always says hi if he is. But he messaged me earlier today and told me exactly what you just said, that someone had ripped and pulled the Ohtani red ink and that it was listed on eBay. And so I was like, oh, so I was talking about that earlier because I was pretty excited about that. Chicago Cubs, Rizzo relic, because I want to see what that thing ends up going for. Just, of course, you guys know I don't think I'm going to top that Ohtani that I pulled out of Bowman. I mean, that's the one and only card I've ever pulled that was going to sell for $100,000, or did sell, whatever he ended up selling it for. I assume he sold it to that guy who had the offer, but I never really did follow up and ask him. So maybe he didn't, maybe he kept it. But anyway, that card is the best card I've ever pulled, and it's probably the best card I ever will pull in terms of the total value, because, I mean, that was crazy. So, even though I would be excited by the Ohtani red ink, I'm going to have a hard time topping that card. Bobby, did he tip me? No, he didn't tip me. No, you know better than that now. One of the guys, I was helping him facilitate a deal, and one of the guys the guy who made the offer, if he sold it to him, I don't know if he did or not, but that guy had offered to tip me if the deal went through, but I felt weird about it, and I told him, don't worry about it, even if it does go through. I don't want to be in the middle of that. This is Benintendi for the Red Sox with a nice little relic there. But yes, that was, of course, for those of you who might not know, it is out of Bowman. It was the Ohtani where he signed his name in Japanese, and it was the exact card that we saw on all of the, speaking of, there is an Ohtani mini, on all of the marketing materials for Bowman. It was the same number that was on, it was the card from the marketing materials. The blue version, the blue chrome version, with the Japanese signature, and it graded out at a 9.5 because it graded at a 10. It was 10 surface and 9.5 everything else except the corners, or no, the centering, everything but the centering. And the centering they graded out at a 9, which was really weird because everybody who looked at it, we all thought the centering was excellent. Nobody would have expected, out of the people who looked at it, thought that it would have graded at a 9 for centering. But that's what dinged it. So that was a 9. The surface was a 10. And corners were 9.5. So it ended up being a 9.5 grade. But the offer he had was for it raw. So he may have ended up selling it for more since it graded at 9.5. Or he could have kept it for all I know. But that's the offer. That's the offer that he had on the table. It was not quite $100,000, but it was just shy of $100,000. And it was Otani Bowman. What it was? Yeah, the one Eric, the one I was just describing is the one that we pulled. It's Banda Black Border Mini. I mean, if they did an article on it in Beckett, the guy who writes for Beckett, who does their blog, he picked it up because I tweeted it out to Topps. Once I knew the customer had it, I didn't do anything until it was delivered and the customer had it in his hand. And then I tweeted it to Topps and asked them if it was the only one signed in Japanese, because we hadn't seen another one come out. It was the exact one in the marketing materials, etc. And yes, they would not answer me, but they did answer Ryan. When Ryan wrote the article, Topps, the only thing Topps would tell him is that it was an extremely low number. But then we never saw another one come out with the Japanese signature. So I believe that it is, in fact, the only one that exists out of Bowman with the Japanese signature. So it was the blue parallel, numbered to whatever you saw there in the marketing materials, like 22 or 24 or something out of the 150. But yeah, it was pretty cool. This is what I think the booklet is. Chris is saying, or Sheldon was saying, you haven't seen a booklet, and that's what I was pretty sure this was, and it is. Yoo-hoo! Yeah, baby. It's for the Cubbies, and it's Addison Russell. There we are. Isn't that handsome? To 10. So if you have the Cubs, you just kind of had your night made. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. And I knew when I felt it, or I was 99% sure it was a booklet as soon as I felt the pack. So that's why I kind of set it aside, because I wanted to save it till the end. Oh, Eric, I wasn't nervous shipping that at all. I mean, it was in a one-touch, and I had it well protected on top of that, and I sent it overnight, and I wasn't the least bit worried about shipping that. But you also have to remember that I used to do antiques and things, so I was routinely shipping exceedingly fragile stuff worth thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars that the least little anything could have broken off a piece. So for me, shipping the card was like a breeze. So I was kind of relieved. So a home run challenge, Charlie Blackmon and the Rockies, Cody Bellinger and the Dodgers, Jay Bruce Indians, George Springer Astros, Aaron Judge for the Yankees, Jonathan Schoop for the Orioles. Then to recap the rest of it, Bobby said I would have shipped it in an armored truck or bought it a plane ticket. Eric said, you guys are funny. That's the Benintendi Red Sox relic. And then we have the Rizzo relic for the Cubs, Kershaw relic for the Dodgers, a rip card for the Astros numbered to 75, and it's Carlos Correa. A nice Barry Larkin relic for my Cincinnati Reds. And then we have a Beltre relic for the Rangers. Sandy Alcantara for the Miami Marlins framed mini autograph. Poker Champ relic goes to our non-baseball celebrity category. And then we have a nice Brandon Woodruff autographed framed mini for the Brewers. And Justin Upton and the Angels with a piece of the baseball bat for our relic. Max Scherzer and the Nats. For the Rangers, it's Runed. For the Cardinals, it's Matt Carpenter. Our cool little one-of-one printing plate. This has really been a good half case. I kind of forgot about this. And this on top of our booklet. That's just kind of nice. Derek Jeter for the Yankees. A little one-of-one printing plate is pretty sweet. The Cubbies and Jason Hayward. And Ahmed Rosario for the Mets. Framed mini autograph. And for the Angels, Ian Kinsler. And then our very, very handsome booklet, Addison Russell and the Cubs, 210. We'll take a look at our box toppers here as well real quickly. And then, of course, I will put up spreadsheet information one last time if you didn't catch it earlier. So box topper for the D-backs. Honus Wagner for the Pirates. Mr. Mike Trout for the Angels. Cubbies, Chris Bryant. For the New York Yankees, it's Aaron Judge. Cal Ripken Jr., Orioles. And those were our box toppers for tonight. So I guess, yeah, right? That's kind of it. That's all we have to open tonight. It seems like it went by quickly, but yet I see it's actually taken us an hour and 45 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun, though, right? So let's get the spreadsheet info up one last time for anybody that maybe jumped in late or missed it earlier. Projecting a Saturday shipping date, as always. If I can get it to you faster than that, I will gladly do so. And if something were to go a little off the rails, it could possibly go a day later, but I'm anticipating Saturday. Consolation cards, you don't worry about those in Allen and Ginter. Everybody pulled something here. And Cornerstones, if you got skunked, whatever consolation cards you're due will ship with the rest of your break. And then, of course, coming up for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, all this stuff comes out tomorrow. Elements Football, brand new product, looks to be pretty cool. Noir Basketball is many, many kinds of awesome, and I'm looking forward to that. Immaculate Baseball, and then a half case of Chrome Baseball. On Thursday, we'll open a Hit Parade New Era autographed baseball cap and another case of Certified Football. Friday finds us with a second case of Elements and a second break of Topps Chrome. Saturday, we've got a full-size football helmet, an autographed football jersey half case break. So that's 4 jerseys in that Leaf half case break, and it will be the start of a new case. For some people care about that, some people don't. Frankly, I never cared about that when I was buying into breaks. But anyway, in case you do care, it will be the first half of a new case. And then a third case of Elements. We'll open a Gold Rush autographed baseball jersey and a second case of the Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs National Edition, which is a different checklist than all the ones we opened a few months ago, and a second case of Immaculate Baseball. Sunday, note we're going to start a little earlier than normal. We're going to start at 9:45 instead of 10. We will open a Hit Parade Series 5 autographed batting helmet, a half case of Gold Standard Football. That will be the start of a new case. And then a full case of Topps Chrome. So a little different, a little switching up there, moving to the full case when we get to Sunday. And I guess that has got us wrapped up for tonight. So once again, thank you, everyone. I appreciate having you bid and break and chat and hang out with me. So hopefully I will see you again soon. In the meantime, have a good rest of your week. Bye now.